Shalom and good day, this is Tehilling29 back again for some indie comic reviews, and for these indie comic reviews I'll be covering Powers Issue 1 by Brian Michael Bendis, Racer X by Mark Russell, and Jeff Johns' Redcoat. I'll now get things ready and organised for the first one that I'll be reviewing. So, starting on the first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it sort of does, to which I give it a 5.5 out of 10. And yes, it has also been a long time since I caught up with some Brian Michael Bendis Powers storytelling. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So, of course, in Brian Michael Bendis fashion, we return to another crime scene, to the death of another hero. And, of course, we've got someone, of course, who is on the case, Detective Doc. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, there has been something enforced, which links to sort of like a Christian Walker. In other words, it connects to this, the original character that helped start the series, along with, I guess, his apprentice, or his second, being Dina Pilgrim, to which we will catch up with Dina Pilgrim. And last but not least, we move towards the beginning of a story, to which we've already got the next case about to occur. For the internal art, I give it a 6 out of 10, even though I do actually enjoy Michael Avon Oeming's art, but I think this time it sort of dropped a bit. But it also has been quite a while since I have actually read something with his artwork. So, yes, it is getting a 6 out of 10. That's not to say that he's a bad artist. He does have some good titles out there that you might want to check out. Next is the area of the story. Now, considering that this connects to a bit of an ongoing series, I thought maybe this might include some references, to which it didn't. Next is the area of time. I think that would be very important to see that brought back or brought into the stories. Next is the location. One of the locations we got to see was a place called the Legacy Star. And last but not least, the cast of characters. We had Pink Brick, Dina Pilgrim. That's about all. We don't quite have the gist of who the rest of the characters are yet. My overall rating is a 5.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Racer X by Mark Russell. So, first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? Surprisingly it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, of course the end, and also what is happening story-wise with the character. As the story begins, we get to see the character of Rex, or Racer X, play a part in sort of like trying to help out, I guess, the underworld in this particular story. Whilst this is occurring, we get to see a bit of an accident happen and see how it affects the Racer family. And last but not least, we get to see him as exactly Racer X. For the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. So first things first, did we get anything time-wise? Sure enough, we did. To which we had 6 years as well as 5 years ago, or 5 years earlier, being addressed. So we got to see a bit of a flashback in relation to the character. Next was the location. He should have included the location, and because of not including the location, even though we got to see like some areas, it wouldn't hurt to include like the main location as to where everything is taking place. Because of that, points are lost. Next is the cast of characters. We have Rex, who is also Racer X. We have the Tiger Syndicate, which we learn about, as well as Mr. Furno. For the overall rating, I give it a 6 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Redcoat issue 14. So, as we move into Redcoat issue 14, does this cover in any way, shape, or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough, it does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what is happening story-wise with the characters. As we move into the beginning of the story, we learn that things are taking place on August 1814, and we also get to see what Simon Pure is actually doing in this time period. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we learn that he's actually helping someone out to save a picture of George Washington. And as we start to move towards the end, we also get a bit of a story which sort of like connects to the present day of someone explaining to their son, whose name is Linus. She also explains how Dolly Madison, so I'm sort of suspecting that she might be connected to Dolly Madison, and her son has no idea that he is actually connected to someone who would be a bit of a hero in this story. So for the internal art, I give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story rating. So first things first, did we get any comic book references considering how far we are story-wise? The answer is no. Next is the area of time, to which we learn it takes place August 24, 1814, as well as today, also addressing the present. Next is the location, of course, things taking place in Washington, D.C. The cast of characters, mainly Simon Pure. We do have other previous names being brought up, from Einstein, Annie Oakley, Johnny Appleseed, the Northerner. Of course, we have Dolly Madison, and last but not least, Linus. For the overall rating, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.